In Consumer Corner, we take a look at trends and products creating a buzz here in China. On today's show, we're talking about what's behind skyrocketing beef and lamb prices in the country. As people trudge through the coldest winter in many years, Chinese across the country have been bundling up and looking forward to some winter comfort food. In Xi'an, people up their intake of yangrou paomo, lamb and bread soup, and in Beijing, there's a whole range of stewed beefs on the menu. The dishes may be the same this year, but prices are looking very different. Xinhua News reports that early January beef prices represent a 35% increase over last winter's prices. A survey of 480 markets conducted by one beef tracking website showed that the meat was coming in at an average of 52.5 yuan, or $8.40 per kilogram. That's practically 3 times the cost of chicken and twice the cost of pork. If compared with January 2008, prices are up an astonishing 70%. In addition, lamb prices have gone up 15% year on year and a full 90% since 2008. According to surveys by Taonyo.com, 1 kilo of lamb is going for 57 yuan, around $9.20. With some supermarket prices topping 70 yuan per kilo, observers are lamenting beef and lamb's transition to being a luxury product in China. The changes are especially surprising considering how tame inflation has been recently. Overall, inflation has been around 2% for several months, making enormous beef markups the exception to relatively stable prices. The Lanzhou Morning News reports that the changes are the result of a highly cyclical domestic industry. Farming in rural China is highly dispersed, with many animal products sold by farming households that raise a few animals on the side. This scattered nature leads to greater instability because producers are highly sensitive to price shocks. If market conditions slump a bit, many farmers will simply choose not to raise cattle or sheep this year, leading to major drop-offs in net supply. In addition, life cycles for cows are much longer than those for pigs, meaning that farmers can't quickly respond to supply increases. If a farmer makes the decision not to raise cows because prices are down, it would take several months for a change in prices to manifest itself in greater supply down the road. The Lanzhou Morning News reports that in addition to structural issues, price hikes have also been driven by rising prices for feed. China's dependence on foreign corn has grown in the past few years, with corn for animal feed making up 70% of total demand. As a result, farmers faced with rising international prices have no choice but to up the final price of beef and lamb sold. Things are likely only going to get worse in coming months, as Chinese New Year's celebrations typically require a heavy dose of lamb and beef. In the end, these seasonal peaks and valleys are just accents on a long-term trend. As Chinese people's disposable income grows, so does net demand for the two prime meats. The high prices of beef and lamb summoned up a whole range of complaints on the internet about the difficulty of buying what is a staple in developed countries. One poster wrote, "After a few years, would China turn into another Korea where people get all excited about a meal with ribs in it?" Another commenter linked the rising prices to Hu Jintao's call to double per capita income in the next decade. She wrote, "It's really wonderful that China aims to double per capita income, but with prices multiplying faster, that wonderful dream may end up being a pipe dream." Poster Lan Sijing took a similar tack, writing, "Skyrocketing prices aren't confined to meat. With the trumpet sounding on doubling income, product prices have responded by marching upwards. Even something as basic as steamed buns are going for higher prices for a smaller size. So this is how we improve our livelihood. It seems like the regulators are too busy counting their annual bonuses and getting ready for Spring Festival to notice whether prices are rising or not." Finally, one netizen spoke for the farmers and poor people who actually have a major stake in the prices. He wrote, "If the prices want to go up, then just let them go up. I hope the cattle and sheep farmers can earn the decent income they deserve instead of always worrying about food safety issues and quarantine inspections. At the same time, I hope low-income residents can get a subsidy so they can still buy meat." Chinese love to take to the net with complaints about prices, but it's often those who are the most vulnerable, the farmers and the urban poor, who don't get heard.